Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Deep Dive Discography. Today, we are talking about, well, really the shittiest thing there is as a metal fan and as a music fan, overpriced concert tickets. As Natasha Gregory, the PR and owner of Mother Artists, says, the working class is being priced out of concerts at this point, which can kind of be seen as true when you look at the fucking price of tickets. What do you think, Marcus?
I actually never heard of this before, but that's actually a really interesting take. What's your logic for this? I want to get into the crux of this one.
Well, when you start looking at the price of tickets, and especially the service fees that I'm not going to name names, but some companies decide to add. We all know who I'm talking about, but
I
I don't
don't
need to say
know who
names.
who would do such a terrible thing.
Exactly. Yeah, when you start to look at the price and service fees, you're looking at easily $100 plus for some of the bigger bands. And we're not even talking top size. When you start to look at the take home profits of certain companies and certain bands, does it really justify the price that you're getting out of it?
Really depends. So I'm assuming she's talking mostly about arena shows. Is that correct?
It would be mostly about arena shows, yeah. That would be where the biggest issue comes from because said certain company does actually hold a monopoly on arena shows and arena
Yeah.
venues.
Yeah. Wow, that's really hard to figure out who that could be. But like, look, here's the thing, right? I think there is at least some truth to that because I think the middle class has been priced out of many things for a very long time. I think like car insurance, airplane tickets, the biggest scams on planet Earth. So I don't know how socio political we want to get with this one, but if we're talking strictly about concerts, I mean, yeah, man, there's got to be some validity to that. Like, upcoming show that I have, speaking of really expensive tickets, I got two of them for you, actually, that I think are, like, stupid pricey, but I still bought them anyways because I can afford it. I have an okay job. I have tickets to see Alexisonfire in Canada Day weekend in July, Saturday the
That,
2nd, I think it is.
that's a pricey one. I looked into it.
Did you look into it? Okay, so for those who don't
I,
know,
yep.
it's called the Born and Raised Festival. It's in St. Catharines, Ontario, which is the hometown of Alexisonfire. So they're doing like a special concert. They're playing like the entire first album in its entirety, and then like on one of the nights they have Pup as main support, and the tickets that I have are for the night where Billy Talent's main support, right? So like, Alexisonfire, Billy Talent, two really big bands. But man, these fucking tickets, dude. Okay, I'm sure part of the premium on this ticket is because it's Canada Day weekend,
Yep.
but like also fuck off, I don't care.
But
Because
okay,
like my ticket was
here's the thing.
$120,
Yeah, so
which is
that's
a
the thing
lot
is
for like
like
how many hours of music. There's like, I think there's four bands in total, so let's say 4 hours if we're being generous of a show.
I was talking to a friend of mine. This is where I ended up looking at the price of the tickets because obviously I'm not going to be there. I have no other reason to look at the price of these tickets. But we were also talking about he wanted to go both nights for
Mm,
the festival. His biggest issue was because of the festival and because it's Canada Day weekend, the fucking price of hotels were like skyrocketed as
yeah.
well, on top of the price of the tickets.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely like a part of the problem too. But also I don't know if they're actually selling 2 day passes because it's a 4 day festival. So the idea is City and Color, Dallas Green's other band, obviously. First two nights, last two nights are Alexisonfire, so it's a 4 day festival. I guess like 16 bands in total between the 4 days. So I think like a 4 day pass, I think it was going for like 400 something or other. And, like, yeah, that's fucking stupid expensive. Like, me and my one friend, I told him, like, hey, look, I'm going, me and my girlfriend have tickets on this day. And he looked at tickets. He was like, bro, $120. I was like, yeah, dude, I'm still going. Like, I still really want to go because I'm going to get FOMO so bad if I don't go. And like,
Yeah,
part of it was for me, honestly, is like, my girlfriend and I don't really like have the same taste in music. She's more of a hip hop and like R&B kind of fan. Like, I like hip hop and R&B quite a bit too, but like even within those genres, we have differing tastes. She's more into backpacker style hip hop and I'm into a little bit more of like internet fringe kind of hip hop stuff, right? Like, so we don't always agree on that. But we do agree on Alexisonfire and Billy Talent. So for me, it was like, you know what? The experience of going out with my girlfriend and my mom and my other friend, I'm like, yeah, like, fuck it. The other one I have that's really expensive is Ghost, Spirit Box, and Mastodon. I love
Yeah, how much
Ghost.
were
I love
those tickets
Spirit Box.
running for?
Well, so I didn't buy them myself. My friend did, and I paid them back. The ticket that she got us was $90, and it's at Coca-Cola Coliseum in Toronto. I don't even know where that is, honestly. I'm pretty sure I do.
It's in the
This
CNE.
That's what I thought. Okay, yeah, that's where I
Yeah,
saw
it's
Tyler. It used to be called Rico Coliseum, wasn't it?
yep.
Yeah, so that's where I saw Tyler the Creator. Oddly enough. Anyways, our tickets are like just before the general admission pit, and I think I paid her like $90
Yeah. So
after
general admission
taxes and
is usually
fees.
same price. Yeah.
No, it was more. I think general admission
Was
might have
it?
been. I don't know, honestly. Like if they were sold out by the time she got to them. I don't know why she bought seated seats. She felt bad, but I was like, don't worry about it. Like it is what it
I
is.
mean, I'm old. I prefer seated seats for some shows.
I honestly like. I would like to be in the mosh pit for like Spirit Box and whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm
Like
just
when I
happy to be there. Like I don't really care that much because I mean, like
yeah.
at a certain point when it comes to an arena show, being on the floor isn't like that fucking amazing.
Yeah. Like when I saw Ghost, it was pretty much the same price actually.
But in euros though, right?
Um
Or was it like, are you converting in your brain?
I'm converting my brain.
So we're
It would
talking
have
like
been
50-ish euros as opposed to like 90
yeah, about
Canadian.
yeah, it was £50.
Right.
50 GBP to CAD. Actually, it was about $10 cheaper.
Okay, but I mean
So
like in the ballpark of, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
around the same price. That was floors. I mean, floors were fun. I don't think I would have lost anything by being seated.
Yeah.
In fairness,
Yeah, probably not. Probably
um,
not. No.
but yeah, I mean, in terms of like overpriced fucking tickets, for Ghost, you're paying roughly the same price that I paid for Metallica,
Yeah. Yeah.
and for the Alexisonfire Billy Talent festival thing. That's so. This is the show I considered going to until I saw the price. Was the Rage Against the Machine tour?
Oh, don't even get me started on that one, dude. I love Rage Against the Machine. I'm not sure if it's obvious by like my taste and who I am as a person, but yeah, Rage Against the Machine's so fucking sick. But I'm not
A
down. Like,
band so against fucking capitalism, basically feeding into capitalism.
here's the thing. I know, like I've heard that argument a lot. I actually don't even know if I fully agree with it because here's the real tea about Rage Against the Machine, right? I think it really is only Zach De La Rocha who's way more into those kind of like political stances. I think everyone else
Umbrella.
tangentially agrees with him. But yeah, he's way more like for the people guerrilla style stuff because of his like his background and his upbringing and stuff like that. And like say what you will about his politics, I don't think the rest of the band have that same background, right? Like I don't like I know Tom Morello, he's biracial, so he definitely has like probably some overlapping opinions. But hey, maybe Tom Morello's way more comfortable ethically taking a paycheck for that show and like and straight up though, like Rage Against the Machine, I guess what I'm also kind of wondering too, like who's the audience for Rage Against the Machine in the year 2022, right? Like I know
The
I'm part of
audience
that
for Rage
audience,
Against the Machine and Run the Jewels.
which is so fucking sick. But that's what I mean though. That bill appeals to young people who have a diverse taste in music. Let's be honest, right? Like, and that's kind
Right?
of a trend that we're noticing with the bills that I've been going to and the ones that you've been going to is diversity. Like Spirit
Yeah.
Box and Ghost, that's a pretty diverse lineup of Mastodon kind of sandwiched in between. This Body Snatcher show, sorry, a Dying Fetus show of Chelsea Grin, Body Snatcher, and then Undeath and Frozen Soul. That's pretty diverse too. But I think in the context of a mainstream show, having a like a really big rap group and a really big like rock metal group, I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, like I'm not opposed to the lineup.
No,
Don't
of
get me
course.
wrong there.
But that's what I
It
mean.
is simply just like the price range, like
I guess what I'm
you know,
getting at is who that appeals to, right? Like,
yeah,
you would have to be a contemporary music fan because I don't know if the old heads are really down. Like, I don't know. I don't like talk to like '90s rap fans because like I'm not I'm not that old. Like, I don't really know people who were alive during the '90s when rap was going through its thing. But like, I can imagine the old heads, the old rap heads. They're probably not super into Run the Jewels. That's more of like a
yeah.
contemporary group, right? Like, and I feel like Rage Against the Machine, honestly, is more relevant than ever, quite frankly, with the political changes that have been happening in the world. I feel like more
And
people are
especially,
down for it than they were back then.
yeah, like a lot of things happening in the UK right now also kind of feeds into that. But like,
Sure,
I don't know, are they really going to sell out a venue that's like 35,000?
they did. I know the Canadian shows are sold the fuck out.
Well, yeah, I know the Canadian shows were selling out.
I'm sure the US ones as well. But honestly, dude, can I be real for a second here? You know, Prophets of Rage?
Yeah,
They were selling
I recall.
tickets. Yeah, as you might. They were selling tickets at an outdoor kind of amphitheater venue in Toronto.
Yep.
And even for the cool price of like $39, I was like, eh. But now Rage Against the Machine is playing, and I'm all like, ooh. I might sell a guitar to go see Rage Against the
Right? Like,
Machine.
so here's a question: is it just the name? Because Prophets of
No.
Rage were playing the same songs.
No, but they suck, dude.
Um,
Prophets of
I mean,
Rage is literally like the shitty version of Rage Against the Machine. Because Rage Against the Machine, okay, it goes without saying that by today's standards, it's not original, right? But Prophets of Rage is the rehashed version of that in the modern era, which makes it even worse, honestly.
that's fair.
And also, like, quite frankly, like, dude, this is like my rap opinion coming out. Zach De La Roche has way better bars than like Chuck D or Be Real. Just throwing it
I
out
would say,
there. Like,
like, in fairness, Prophets of Rage needed two rappers to make up.
but you know what the worst part is,
So
dude? Their rapping sounds like when The Simpsons in the '90s made fun of rapping.
that's fair.
It
Yeah.
literally sounds so cartoony and shitty. Whereas at least like when Zach De La Rocha raps, it's like, yo, that guy's like really spitting fire here. So, but yeah. So how much are the tickets going for in the UK when you're looking at going?
They're £80.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Uh,
That's a lot for floor or cheap seats.
that is well, it's an outdoor show, which means it's all the same fucking seats. You could have the worst possible view, and you're paying the same price as the same person up front. So yeah, that's 130 bucks Canadian,
That's steep.
which puts it at about 100 bucks US for anyone. So fun fact, I did learn that our biggest listenership is actually from the US. So that's why I figured I would throw that out there.
That's really interesting. I'd be curious. Hey, US fans, feel free to add me on Facebook and talk my ear off.
That one, yeah, he's down in the U.S. every so often because I sent him there.
Actually, it's
But
funny.
I mean,
I actually connected with a guy who was at the same show with me in Pontiac, Michigan, and
oh
we were
shit,
talking and stuff. Yeah, because he also the same experience happened to him. Some guy just gave him like the Dying Fetus tickets, and I started talking to him. I was like, "Whoa, what a weird coincidence."
I wonder if tickets just weren't selling for that show. Maybe they were overpriced.
No, they were cheap. I don't know why that show didn't sell out. Or maybe just I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe because honestly, man, Detroit's kind of a harsh market, but that's besides the
yeah.
point. Yeah. So, anyways,
Detroit is proper like working class. But yeah,
so,
there's
well,
a lot of shows, a lot of festivals, a lot of stuff that you know, definitely is outpricing the working class right now.
here's the
We could
thing.
go on all day about that.
Well, here's the thing. Why I think is more interesting about this, right? Like we have to talk about audience because I think that's the more important part. Because, for example, if you're talking about Las Vegas, if you went to like an Elton John residency gig at the hotels, right?
Yeah.
Who's the audience is going to be seeing Elton John in Vegas? We could probably discern like what, like 40 to 60-year-old like white couples, right? So they might have
Yeah.
the capital to spend,
And
let's
this
say,
guy.
Dude, I love Elton John. Yeah, I'll pay a lot of money to see him too, especially in Vegas because I love Vegas and I love cocktails. Not the point. Like, I can understand that that's reasonable for like a 40 to 60-year-old, couple who has money to burn. They might, yeah, say, fuck it, I'll spend $100 on Elton John tickets. Like, fuck off, who cares? It's like my Thursday night in Vegas. Of course I'm going to go, right?
Yeah.
But if you're, like if you're a young woman or man, like you're doing like a waiting tables, or like you're working like a really like not so illustrious factory job, you might not be down to spend $100 on like Don Henley tickets, or like fucking, I don't know, who was a shitty boomer band. Like, you're not going to pay like $100 to say AC/DC, right? You're not going to
Well,
spend like
okay.
$100 to see Guns N' Roses, and when you could
Don't get
just,
me started on ACDC. I overpaid for ACDC for a
yeah.
fully outdoor venue, and our spots were not great.
But that's kind of
So
what I'm
that,
talking about.
but no, but like on the lines of what you're talking about is what I'm going into is Rage Against the Machine are kind of the working class band,
Yes,
based on lyrics,
they're
but
not boomer
they're
music.
but they're actually outpricing the working class for the most part.
Yeah, and that's so sad. So very sad. But I think that's a symptom of the culture way more than like them being trendsetters, quite frankly.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know, man. I think about
yeah,
too. I think
yeah.
about this a lot. Like, I think in a perfect world, if I get like a takeout meal, for example, that should cost less than 1 hour at my job, right?
Yeah.
And the fact is, if depending on what takeout place you go to, yeah, dude, you might easily like spend $30 for a takeout meal, depending on where you go to. If you go to like, let's say like a gourmet burger place or something, right? Because those
Yeah.
places are a little bit more expensive. And most people don't earn $30 an hour. Like, let's be frank, especially in our age group. Like, we're in our late 20s. That's not that. Wait, are you younger than me?
I don't know.
Regardless, yeah, like most people don't earn that much money, even if they are like younger or older than me. It's fucked up, dude.
But most people in general don't earn that kind of money.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. The one thing that's more of a saving grace is like these general admission shows that you and I tend to go to, like more of the metal and the hardcore kind of shows. Those ones are more in the $30 to $50 range, which is comfortable, right? That's a comfortable spending for. But it gets even more complicated because I actually thought about this, right? Like, I was doing some mental math in my head just for like fun, because I think the business of media is really interesting. If you think about a show that has a capacity of, let's say, I don't know, like 250 people, $30 a ticket, and then like the amount of alcohol, the amount of merchandise gets bought. Think about how much money a sold out 300 capacity venue show makes. We're talking like 70 some $1,000 for one night of entertainment for like one particular city. Assuming like everything goes according to plan, you sell out. A lot of
And
money like
obviously,
flying around. But I'm going to try and get at too is each fan at that show is spending approximately $100. Let's say you or someone who drinks alcohol, you have $30 ticket. Let's say you buy like 40 to $60 of alcohol because shit's expensive, and you buy a T-shirt. You're easily at $100 for like one day of entertainment.
and like, so some promoters are kind of shisty in that sense because they will charge a percentage based on merch sales.
Yeah, that's bad. That's not
So
cool.
I've put on my own shows, and venues usually don't cost the promoter anything based on
Right.
alcohol sales.
Also depends what city you're in, actually, because I've actually tried to in Toronto just for some other stuff I was working on in the past, and they had ticket sale expectations.
I've never had that.
Yeah, it
So
depends
I
where, to be fair. I don't think it's like a widespread. I think some of the smaller ones, not so much, but like if they
I
consider
know
themselves. I know a
I know
couple.
Toronto is a bit shitty though.
It is. That's the problem too. Yeah, like I could make
Yeah.
a whole video about big city music scenes, in my opinion, on them. That's like
Yeah.
its own dissertation.
Like I put on a show in Waterloo. Um I have things I could say about the venue I put on there, but I won't. I put on my going away show when I moved out of Canada in Kitchener at a small bar. Their whole thing was, hey, if there as long as there's alcohol sales, we won't charge you for the venue. That's fine. I've looked into booking shows here before, and then COVID happened and kind of delayed everything. But it's all the same thing. It's like as long as there's this much in alcohol sales, we won't charge you anything.
But see, what I don't like about that, that's actually like a sneaky way of wording it. That's almost like when you buy car insurance and they're like, hey, if you get in a car accident, we'll talk. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like, we'll see what happens, but yeah, you probably won't pay anything. And it's like, I don't like
Well,
the way
okay.
that's
In
worded.
fairness, they told me up front how much it costs,
Right.
and then they were like I paid that money up front for the venue, and they're like, we'll
Right.
give you this back. Yeah, that was just my wording. I worded it poorly.
Oh,
That's
okay,
my
okay.
bad.
That's a little bit different. Okay, so it's like a deposit to make sure things actually happen. You're not just booking a
Yeah,
night and saying, "Oh, sorry, my bad, dude." Like, fuck, whoops.
yeah. Worst case, nobody shows up and give me the
Right.
money back because one person bought shit at the bar.
I
Yeah, no,
understand.
it,
Yeah,
it, it
yeah,
was all based on like the profits that they got from the venue. But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, like in general, there's a lot of money. So bands have a certain amount of money they're going into to make. The promoter has already agreed to how much that the band's going to get. They know how much the venue wants, and that there's a very good chance that the venue will give them half price, give them the whole venue for free based on alcohol sales. All that considered, I personally would think if I price the venue at less, like if I price the tickets at less, I'll get more people in, which means more alcohol sales, which means I don't pay for the venue. Like, am I just being optimistic in the way I'm thinking about it?
Yes, because we have to assume that most venue owners are slime balls, and they just want like every. Here's a good saying. I know people have controversial opinions about this person, but James Stephanie Sterling from the Jimquisition, they don't want a lot of money. They want all the money, albeit they are referencing the video game market and we're referencing, concert venues. But that logic rings true in a lot of like, capitalistic ventures, right? Do you want to make some of the money that's, a really healthy amount and then everyone's fair, it's all equal? Or do you want just like every fucking last dime? For example, like, dude, let's be real. Let's be really fucking real. When I'm at like the Molson Amphitheater watching Slayer and I'm getting hammered with my friends, do you think I care that beer cans are like $18?
Don't get me started on that one.
I know, I hate it too, but guess what, dude? I've done it. When I went to go see
I
Van Halen
know.
in 2015, it was me and the boys, and it was a riot. And you better believe when I was waiting in line, I couldn't afford it, but I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, we're seeing Van Halen. Let's fucking go!" And like, you're spending
Yeah, when
copious
I,
amounts of money on shit you don't need, and like, I think same thing when I go to see Ghost. I'm sure tall cans are going to be like what, like $14 for like a Molson. Like, get the fuck out of here,
yeah,
dog.
yeah, friend of mine was spending $16 at a time on Molson when we went to Mayhem Fest at
Whack.
the amphitheater.
Just whack, dude. But we're gonna
I
do it,
know.
man. We're gonna keep doing it too. You know what the funniest thing is too, man? I got one that I'm really curious about. I'm going to a hardcore festival in the Mississauga area called Hold Your Ground Fest 2022. The headliner is going to be Mind Force on the day I'm going, and they're really sick. They're like Metallica if they're like a hardcore band. It's fucking awesome. Not the point. You know what this venue is, by the way? I forget the name of it because I'm actually not familiar with it. I think it's called like the Hansa House or something. It's
Oh
like
yeah, so
it's a
yeah, so you
German
share
banquet
it.
hall, dude. It's
Amazing.
literally like a German cultural center. So like this, like I was looking at photos and I was seeing like polka bands and like like old ladies like serving like schnitzel and beer steins, and I'm like thinking to myself like,
Nice.
holy fuck, dude! Like I'm gonna be like throwing down with a belly full of schnitzel. I'm gonna vomit everywhere, probably overheat,
So good.
and I'm wondering how much alcohol is gonna cost at this show, right? And like for
Yo, if
example,
it's German, it's probably cheap.
I wonder, dude, because I wonder like what the deal is there, if it's going to be a bar or if it's going to be like the venue allows the promoter to have like just cases of alcohol in the back and you like sell. You know what I mean? I'm not exactly sure if they're going to let like the bartend, if they're going to have in-house bartenders or what the deal is. Tickets are rather expensive for the show, but I don't mind because like it's a really stacked bill of like the best local Toronto, Hamilton hardcore bands with like some sick American headliners. So like I'm like super down to support. Throw a little bit of extra money towards bands that I might not always get to see live, especially all in one place, right? Like it's kind of a
Yeah.
win-win. But all that aside, I'll fill you in on whether or not I thought that show was a rip-off. I'm having high hopes for the Hansa House or whatever the fuck it's called. Like,
I will say one of the best venues in Glasgow that I've been to was I got to see Scordatura and some other like Scottish death metal bands there. It was £3 to get in, so about $5, and it was bring your own beer.
are they local bands?
Scordatura is on a pretty big label. They've been over to the U.S. and toured around
That's
like
really
Europe,
cheap.
but £3, and yeah, it was all bring your own beer, and there was a Tesco across the road, so you could just go buy a fucking
That's
big
so
bottle of
cool.
alcohol for so cheap.
That's really cool. That Fit for an Autopsy show that you covered a couple
Yep.
weeks back. Do you know how much the general admission tickets were going for?
I want to say it's about £30,
Okay,
so
so that's
about 50
probably
bucks.
that's kind of on par with like what you would expect for that bill in North
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. I don't think it was too far off of what they were charging in North America. Because that same tour went through North America, give or take one band.
Yeah, they
I
skipped
think,
over Canada because I want to go to those shows, but they're all American dates. So
yeah, like Enterprise Earth was on it.
yeah,
Ingested wasn't actually on ours originally.
right.
Um, there was a French band on there that I can't remember the name of that dropped off while they were doing the tour over there. And the Fit for an Autopsy guys walked up to Ingest and were like, "Hey, you want to fill in over in Europe since you're from there?" Great
Great.
American Ghost was on it over there,
Yeah.
and there was Signs of the Swarm was on it over there,
Mm-hmm.
and we got Sentinels instead.
Right, right. And now I'm going to be seeing Sentinels when they play at the Die Artist Murder show. So
And
full circle.
when you get to see them with Enterprise Earth.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to try to make it out to the Detroit, Michigan show in August. So
Woo. Anyways,
we'll
yeah,
see.
there's a lot of shit that we can talk about that's like way overpriced.
Yeah, but I
I
think we're
mean,
good.
anyone who has their own story or anything, I very much welcome you to share it. But Marcus, take us out.
Thank you for watching Deep Dive Discography. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter?
Yeah, yeah, we're on Twitter. I don't use it.
Yeah, whatever, the main ones. Whatever one that you use, we're probably on it.
We're
Follow
on it.
us.
If you start following us on Twitter,
Stream us on
I'll start using it.
Spotify. Go to our Patreon. Give us money. We're going to make more content for you. Say goodbye,
Woo.
Aaron, to the fine, beautiful folk.
Bye. See you
Toodles.
later.